Well, as expected, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell opened his big fat stupid mouth again, and the precious metals markets went to shit. We're going to be talking about that in today's video. Welcome back, guys, to the Independent Experience. I'm IndieXP Bullion, and this is the Morning Market Wake Up Call for Thursday, June 17th, 2021. Let's go ahead and jump right on into the markets and see where we're starting today off at. Gold is down significantly from the last video. Currently, we're sitting under $1,800 at $1,799.36. Silver is down significantly as well. It's currently at $26.60. That gives us a ratio of 67.66. Platinum is down, currently at $11,1858. Palladium also down significantly at $27.74.83, and rhodium is up $200 from our last video at $23,200. In base metals, we've seen drops in most. Copper is down, currently at $4.29. Nickel is down, currently at $7.96. Aluminum is at $1.10. Zinc is at $1.34, and lead is down at 97 cents. Barrels of crude oil are up somewhat from our last video. Those are going for $72.07 a barrel currently. We saw losses on Wall Street the last couple days. The Dow Jones was down 265 points yesterday, closing out the day at 34,033.67. The NASDAQ was down 33 points at 14,039.68, and the S&P 500 was down 22 points at 4223.70. The US dollar index has recovered somewhat from the last video. It is up at 91.80. If you guys are looking to trade some cryptocurrencies today, those are pretty steady. The Bitcoin market and Dogecoin have been fairly quiet here the last couple days. Bitcoin is currently at 39,192.63, and Dogecoin is down a penny at 31 cents. If you're looking to trade some gold backs today, whether that be the Utah, the Nevada, or the New Hampshire, those are exchanging for $3.83 today. I do expect that price to drop once their market opens. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, Jerome Powell opened his big fat dumb mouth again yesterday, and as soon as he did, precious metal prices dropped. Let's go ahead and take a look at this article from Kitco News and Anna Golubova. There we go. This is titled "Gold Price Plunges as Powell Says Inflation Will Be Like the Lumber Experience." The gold space saw another significant sell-off after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell spoke about inflation and clarified plans on tapering. In response to the Fed's announcement, the gold lost more than $40. This article did come out yesterday, and we have seen future losses since then. Gold prices reacted to a rise in the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield, which climbed to 1.58%. Markets focused on a few items from the Fed statement, including higher inflation expectations for this year and a possibility of two rate hikes as soon as 2023. Core inflation is now estimated to run at 3% this year versus the previous forecast of only 2.2% that they projected back in March. So you're saying that just printing a bunch of money and passing it out for free to people is causing the inflation rate to go up? I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. It's a surprise. Powell still maintained that inflation is transitionary. Quote, "The problem right now is that the demand is very strong and incomes are high." Not sure how that's a problem. Let's see if he continues. "If you look behind the headline numbers, you'll see that the incoming data are consistent with the view that prices that are driving that higher inflation is from categories that are being directly affected by the recovery from the pandemic and the reopening of the economy." This is not true. Powell drew parallels between the transitionary inflation and the surge in lumber prices, which are now settling down after a massive rally. Quote, over time, these things driving up inflation will be temporary. The experience with lumber prices is illustrative of this. The prices that have moved up really quickly because of shortages and bottlenecks should stop going up, and in some cases should actually go down. And we did see that in the case of lumber. He said, our expectation is that these high inflation readings that we are seeing now will start to abate, and it will be like the lumber experience. This article does go on. I'm going to end it there. The economy and inflation is absolutely nothing like the lumber industry. We talk about it some on this channel, and from time to time you can see my shirt. So I work in the cabinet industry. I've been in the cabinet industry for almost 20 years, and I've served on committees that focus on hardwood stewardship. And what we saw in the lumber industry is back 13, 14 years ago when we had the Great Recession, there was not the demand for lumber. When you have renewable forests, it takes 10 to 13 years for renewable forests to repopulate, to become ready for harvest. Well, if you have a bottleneck on that end, you're not cutting down trees for lumber because there's no demand for lumber. Now you have a gap. You have a gap in the supply further down the road because you didn't harvest trees. You can't replant trees for the future. So what we're seeing right now with lumber prices is we're seeing that bottleneck right now. Yes, it's a bottleneck because there's no lumber to harvest because unlike crops, wheat and corn and soybeans, if you don't harvest it, it's going to go bad. Well, if you don't harvest a tree, you just get more lumber down the road from it. So lumber prices back in like 2012, 2013, 2014 were dirt cheap. You could buy a 2x4 for less than $2. 8-foot 2x4 for less than $2. And so now what we're seeing is the demand for lumber is high, but there's no lumber because we're still waiting for trees to mature to cut down. So I don't know how somebody who's supposed to be smart when it comes to the economy is trying to liken the economy's inflationary period to the lumber price and lumber crunch that we have right now. It doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense whatsoever. And why he would even think that that's a viable comparison is really beyond me. I think that this guy is a moron. Plain and simple. So anybody with half a brain would know exactly why we're seeing these inflation numbers. That article did go on and continued saying that they think that the rollbacks on the unemployment benefits will cause people to go back to work. Well, no shit. People are getting paid to sit on their ass for the last year and a half, and now they're going to have to go back to work because they're not getting the free money from the government anymore. So I apologize. I didn't drink enough coffee this morning. I didn't drink enough coffee this morning. Maybe I woke up on the wrong side of it. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. All right, guys. I do greatly appreciate every single one of you. And if you happen to appreciate old IndyXP Bullion, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up button for me right there. It helps me out immensely. If you happen to be new to the independent experience and you want to keep up to date on when all the latest and greatest content comes out, make sure you hit the subscribe and jingle bell right there in the corner. Bing bong, so you can stay notified of when that content comes out. Of course, the box is popping up on this side of the screen. This is the gateway to the back catalog of videos. You can start clicking through these at your heart's content at the end of this one. Guys, I've been IndyXP Bullion from the Independent Experience, and I'm here again to remind you, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find your pockets heavy.